Good afternoon, Finding Me family. Miss Sincere Heart here. Catching up on videos as usual. I want to touch base on, trying to open the blinds. I took a detour last time. That's what I was going to say. I took a detour last time and I talked about how interracial, that's what I want to say. Interracial couples have these multicultural children and they act as though this is the best thing in the world. I couldn't have had a better child than this. And then you have the multicultural children are better than the single cultural children. And the single culture, I mean like all black, all Indian, all Asian, whatever the case may be. Primarily all black. Like most people think that if you have a biracial child, it has to be black and something, then it's going to be better than a all black child. That's not true. So I wanted to touch base on that. Today, I'm going to pick up where I left off from the previous video. And that video, I was telling you how things had started getting interesting with me as a child coming up. And I left off when I was talking about me being in grammar school. So I'm going to pick up with me going into middle school and high school. Might stop before we get to high school. Might give you just a little taste of it. But in middle school, I started middle school here in the Midwest. So again, you know, the school environments were very mixed, very diverse. They were very, very diverse. So there was no need or no reason for a child to feel like, hey, I'm less than this person. This person is more than me. I need to do this. I need to do that. You know, we didn't have a whole bunch of stuff like that here in the Midwest when I was growing up, when I was in 6th grade. I didn't stay the whole year or the whole amount of my middle school years here in the Midwest. At Christmas break, my father and I, we moved to this wonderful place called Lexington, Mississippi. Now, I started school there, and this is crazy that I remember the date. I started school there January 4th of 1994. My first day there, my father gave me no warning as to what would happen because of my complexion. What he did tell me is, you're by yourself, even though I have a ton of family down there. You're by yourself, so you don't want to get into fights with these kids down here because they don't fight fair. These kids will jump you. These kids they'll hurt you because you're not from here. They will fight with you and pick fights with you because you're from up north, Midwest. So, me being me, not afraid, like, whatever. Him, don't you come home getting suspended from school for fighting. That was very rare and very odd and strange to me because he had already raised me to be the type of person where you defend yourself. You don't have to argue with anyone. You don't have to fight with everyone. But you don't tolerate being picked on and being abused and misused. So for him to tell me like, hey, don't fight. Don't you come home getting suspended from fighting. You know, I was taken aback by that. And I was taken aback by that, like I said, because he had always taught myself and my sister and my brother from my mother's side how to defend ourselves. And he walked me into the office. He walked me to my class. He flirted with my teacher. Her name was Miss Large, and she was very Miss Small. She was a very pretty woman. My first day was interesting. The children asked me a lot of questions, where I'm from. The teachers put me on the spot a lot. Where are you from? What kind of grades do you have? Do you live with your mother and your father? Do you just live with your mother? Do you just live with your father? Who is that man that brought you to school? why did you guys move down here? You know, just very, very, very personal into like who the hell are you type of stuff. So, the first day wasn't bad. I made a friend on my first day. I won't say her name just for identity, you know, privacy purposes. But she was nice enough to help me get to my bus because I had never rode a school bus before. She was nice enough to help me get to my bus. Granted, we rode the same bus. That was a good thing. My bus driver didn't wait for anybody if you weren't there when he was there. And when that bus was loaded, if you weren't on that bus, you were either running behind that bus or you missed that bus. And the days went on. I want to say maybe my second week in school. Yes, it was my second week in school. There was this girl, again, I won't say her name. She felt it would be okay to pick with me. Don't exactly know why. She wasn't dark skinned. She wasn't even a dark brown. She was like a chestnut color, like, you know, hazel eye color. So I'm light skinned. I'm like highlight yellow marker type light skin. So she was darker than me, but she wasn't that much darker than me. But she felt the need that it was okay to bully me. So, listening to what my father said, you know, he was like, don't come home getting suspended from fighting. So this girl would slap me in my face just about every single day. And me being who I am, Shantae, you know, I wanted to fight her. I wanted to hit her back. I wanted to punch her because I was like, you're hitting me. But the only thing I could hear in my mind was my father telling me not to fight because they would jump me. Not to come home from getting suspended for fighting. So I would just let her hit me. Wouldn't say anything. Wouldn't, you know, just let her slap me. Turn my head and walk away. That's what I was told to do. You would think that the teacher seeing this, somebody would say something. But they didn't. They just let it happen. Or they would scream her name. Get your butt to your class. And the teachers down there cuss at you. They'll tell you to get your ass to your class. Or they'll tell you if you were going to their classroom, they would tell you to get your ass in the classroom and go sit down somewhere. So when that happened, of course, it was a domino effect that meant that, you know, other kids could pick on me and fight with me too. And of course, I was the light-skinned person there. So I was a target. And then it didn't help that I was from up north, because they don't call the Midwest and the South. They call it North. You from up north. So that didn't help either. And I'm not saying this to brag or anything, but I think I'm a gorgeous person. That didn't help. I have long, pretty hair. Not to say that short hair is not pretty. Not to say that all black person's hair is not pretty. I adore an all black person's hair. I do. I have children that are all black, like Haitian black. So I love that. But it didn't make it easy, because those were things that would, you know, like make me the eyeball, make me the black sheep. Those were things that you were able to identify. Like, that's the new girl. That's the girl from Chicago. That's the girl that's from up north. That's the girl that so and so would slap. You know, she won't fight you. She's scared. She ain't finna do nothing. They talk about how tough Chicago people is. She's scary. She not gonna fight. So it got worse from there. And then here we go. The boys. Now, I will admit, I had a crush on one boy when I was up in the Midwest, in Chicago, in the suburbs of Chicago. But I wasn't a boy crazy girl. So when I moved to Mississippi with my father, I still wasn't a boy crazy girl. Of course, there was like, oh, he's cute. But then when you start hearing everything that everybody say, oh, he stank, he smell like doo-doo, his butt, you know, hey, I was just like, ew, yeah, not getting in that. So then the boys started coming. And then first, you know, all the boys were like, what's your name? I like you. You got a boyfriend. I don't want no boyfriend. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, you can't talk to him. That's so-and-so boyfriend. I wasn't studying these boys. One boy stood out to me. He was dark skinned. And that was my first little like puppy love type of thing. And we were boyfriend and girlfriend for a long time. And my father didn't know we were boyfriend and girlfriend, but he did know we were boyfriend and girlfriend. He knew we liked each other. He knew the boy would buy me stuff. He knew the boy would give me stuff. And like I said, we were boyfriend and girlfriend for a long time. That didn't help, because other boys that liked me and they got mad at me because I wouldn't be their girlfriend, they talked about me and called me names. Oh, you a bitch, or you a hoe. Don't nobody want your ugly ass. And that gave the girls more ammunition to fight with me about, because they took to it. And then it turned into this, I was this no good girl, and I had only been there a couple of weeks, and then it ended up being a couple of months. I did make some friends. Again, this was an all black school. I grew up in the South, and it was very segregated. The white people stayed on one side of town. The black people stayed on the other side of town. We didn't go to their games in their school. They didn't come to our games in our school. We didn't attend none of their family outings or public things. They didn't attend any of ours. You got caught in their neighborhood. You got chased out with a shotgun. I remember one time, and this is going further into my high school years. I had my friend and I, well, actually my ex-husband's sister, so my ex-sister-in-law and we were out, and the guy, there was a guy, he saw us going through the neighborhood, because you could go through the neighborhood, but you couldn't stop in the neighborhood. The guy saw us come through the neighborhood, and I guess he was just on one of his moments, and he jumped in his truck. We saw him grab his shotgun from the back, because in the South, you can, they have the little gun racks that you put in your vehicle. He grabbed his shotgun and cocked it and took off behind us. And yeah, we kind of had to run for our life for that day. But it got very intense. And when I say it got intense, there were days that I didn't want to go to school. And I wouldn't tell my father about what was going on, because to him it was just it's just little kids fighting. And to me it wasn't. I was getting bullied at school because I was this pretty light-skinned girl with pretty long hair from Chicago. I was at all black school. You would think that I would fit in just perfectly. I was too dark to be a white girl. And I was too light to be a black girl. So I didn't fit in anywhere. And what was so, I want to cuss, but what was so bad about it is they accepted a Hispanic girl over me. She was more black than I was, and my daddy was black, and her people was white and Mexican. So how come this didn't, what was the problem? I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. And I dealt with that for the second semester of 6th grade. I dealt with that for 7th grade, even though I got on the cheerleading team. They laughed at me and they talked about me. Oh, you don't know how to dance. You a white girl. White girls ain't got no rhythm. And then they would, challenge me to see if I knew how to dance, if I knew how to cheer, if I knew how to step. And when I say step, I'm not talking about Chicago Midwest step. I'm talking about step like fraternity and the sororities, how to step, because that's what we did down south. We stepped. We did that. But when I did it and they saw that I could do it, it became even more of a problem. It was there was nothing I could do to fit in, to blend in, to be a part of an all-black school, of an all-black community, of an all-black town, of an all-black county. There was nothing I could do. Even up until 8th grade, when I found and had my actual, real first boyfriend. Not my puppy love boyfriend. So, we got 7 more days in this month, and I'll share some more of my story. The sun is setting. I want you all to have a lovely night, and enjoy the rest of this week. Happy Black History Month.